Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now folks, if you've been following the Steelers this offseason, you know that the team is in a bit of a transitional phase. They've made some strategic moves, but there's one area that's been a little under the radar, the wide receiver room. And let me tell you, this is a topic that's catching fire among Steelers fans and NFL insiders alike. The team's depth at wide receiver isn't exactly enviable right now, and with the NFL being a league that's increasingly driven by explosive passing games, having that reliable, game-changing receiver is more crucial than ever. So, what's the latest? Well, reports suggest that the Steelers are actively looking to add some firepower at the wide receiver position. They're making calls, exploring options, and trying to bring in a big-name player to boost their aerial attack. Now, why would they do that? It's pretty simple. While the addition of a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, who's now 41 years old, is a positive step in the right direction, it's not enough to just have a seasoned passer. No, the Steelers need more weapons. The reality is, aging quarterbacks can still be effective, but they require a supporting cast that can make plays and stretch defenses. Rodgers, despite his age, is still a top-tier quarterback. He's proven that he can lead teams deep into the playoffs, and he has the experience and leadership that the Steelers can certainly benefit from. But let's be honest, as talented as Rodgers is, he's not getting any younger, and his physical ability has declined over the years. That means Pittsburgh's offense needs to be more dynamic, more explosive, and more unpredictable to keep up with AFC rivals like Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Jacksonville. Now, the Steelers did make a notable move earlier in the offseason by acquiring DK Metcalf. This was a significant addition, no doubt about it. Metcalf is a proven, physical, and explosive receiver who can take the top off defenses and make contested catches. But beyond Metcalf, the rest of the wide receiver core is, shall we say, a bit of a work in progress. The current depth chart features Robert Woods, who's coming off a somewhat underwhelming season, Calvin Austin, a promising young player with speed but limited experience, and Scotty Miller, a speedster who's shown flashes but hasn't yet become a consistent threat. Add to that the trade of George Pickens, who many fans saw as a potential breakout star, and suddenly the Steelers' receiving options look a little thin. Pat Freiermuth, the tight end, is a dependable safety valve for the quarterback, but he alone can't carry the aerial attack. The team's offense, especially through the air, needs a shot in the arm, and that's why the rumors about Pittsburgh actively seeking to bring in another receiver are gaining traction. Mark Kaboly of the Pat McAfee Show reported that the Steelers are actively making calls to teams that might be looking to trade wide receivers. Now, this is interesting because it signals that the team isn't just sitting still. They're aware of the gaps, and they're trying to fill them before the season kicks off. But which players could potentially be on the move? Well, that's where things get intriguing, because the NFL offseason is always filled with rumors and speculation, but some names stand out as logical targets. One name that has generated buzz is Chris Olave from the New Orleans Saints. Olave is a talented, young, and dynamic receiver who has shown flashes of brilliance when healthy. But the problem is, he's struggled to stay on the field over the past couple of seasons, dealing with concussions and injuries that have limited his playing time. Now, Olave insists he's not looking for a trade, and the Saints aren't actively shopping him, but let's be honest, in the NFL, where teams are always looking to improve, a good offer can change the game. The Saints are rebuilding, and if the right deal comes along, Olave could find himself in a different uniform before long. And that's where the Steelers come into play. A team with a short-term window, looking to make a splash and contend for a deep playoff run, could see Olave as a perfect fit. His speed, route running, and big play ability would complement the Steelers' offense perfectly. He's the kind of receiver who can create separation and make those big plays that keep defenses honest. But again, it's all about the right price, and the Saints might hold on to him if they don't get a compelling offer. Another name that's been tossed around a lot is Bourne from the New England Patriots. Now, Bourne isn't a superstar, but he's a solid, versatile receiver who can contribute in a variety of ways. He's known for his toughness, good route running, and ability to make contested catches. The Patriots have a pretty crowded receiver room, with Demario Douglas, Keyshawn Bout, and the rookie Kyle Williams all vying for targets. Bourne's name has come up as someone who might be available, and for Pittsburgh, he could be a valuable addition, someone who can step in immediately and provide some veteran stability and playmaking ability. Now, it's important to note that the Patriots aren't actively shopping Bourne, but in the NFL, if the right offer comes along, a team like the Steelers could definitely pull the trigger. And for Pittsburgh, adding a player like Bourne could finally help them get over the hump, breaking that playoff drought that's been lingering since the 2016 season. Remember, the Steelers haven't been able to get past the wild card round in recent years, and their offense has struggled at times to generate consistent big plays. A reliable veteran like Bourne could be that missing piece, especially in critical third-down situations or red zone targets. Beyond that, there are other teams that might have players who could fit Pittsburgh's needs. The Carolina Panthers, for example, have a collection of young, talented receivers like Teteroa McMillan, Xavier Legette, and Jalen Coker. They also have a promising tight end in Jatavian Sanders. But the Panthers are still in that rebuilding phase, and if those young players develop faster than expected, they might create a crowded target situation. That could make someone like Adam Thielen, an aging veteran, somewhat expendable. Thielen, who's in the last season of his contract, might prefer to join a team with realistic playoff aspirations rather than continue in a rebuild. All of this points to a busy and intriguing NFL offseason for the Steelers. They've already taken steps with their quarterback position, and now it looks like they're setting their sights on bolstering their receiving core. It's a smart move because, at the end of the day, football is a game of matchups, and the team that can deploy the most explosive and reliable weapons usually has the edge. Pittsburgh's history is filled with legendary wide receivers, from Hines Ward to Antonio Brown, players who could take over games and change the course of a season. The current roster might not have that level of star power yet, but with these potential moves, they're trying to get there. And let's not forget, the Steelers always have a knack for developing talent. The likes of George Pickens, Calvin Austin, and even younger players like Anthony Miller have shown flashes of promise. But consistency and experience are what they're really missing. Bringing in a seasoned veteran or a proven playmaker could be the difference maker in tight games, especially in the playoffs. Pittsburgh's coaching staff, led by Mike Tomlin, is known for maximizing their players' potential and creating a tough, disciplined team that can compete with the best. But to make that leap into serious postseason contention, they need those extra weapons on offense. As we look ahead to the upcoming season, the AFC North looks more competitive than ever. The Cincinnati Bengals, led by Joe Burrow and his arsenal of talented receivers, are a force to reckon with. The Baltimore Ravens are always a tough team, especially if Lamar Jackson stays healthy and the defense performs at a high level. The Cleveland Browns, with their revamped roster and a solid defense, are also in the mix. So for Pittsburgh, it's clear that they can't afford to stand still. They need to keep pace, and adding a proven receiver could be that crucial piece that pushes them over the top. In the end, the NFL offseason is a whirlwind of rumors, trades, and strategic moves. But for Steelers fans, the hope is that this franchise continues its tradition of resilience and smart management. The team has a rich history of overcoming adversity, of unearthing hidden gems, and of making those savvy moves that turn a good team into a great one. And this year, with the potential addition of a new receiver, it looks like Pittsburgh is once again positioning itself to be a dark horse contender. The road to the Super Bowl is never easy, but with the right pieces, the Steelers can definitely carve out their path. So, as we keep an eye on the coming weeks, remember that every trade, every signing, every move could be the one that changes everything. The Steelers are always about that grit, that toughness, and that never-say-die attitude that has defined their identity for decades. They're building a team that can not only contend, but also make a serious run deep into January. The AFC is stacked, but Pittsburgh has the talent, the coaching, and the history of perseverance to make some noise. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the team will pull off a big trade for a receiver? Who would you like to see in black and gold? Do you believe that with the right additions, they can finally get back to the playoffs and maybe even beyond? Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. As always, we're in this together, supporting our team through thick and thin. Let's keep the faith, keep the passion alive, and get ready for what promises to be an exciting season ahead.